So here we are, starting the new year, going through the whole composition from pretty much half a year ago. Shyam Sundar, which is a composition in Raag Bhairav. Raag Bhairav being the one where we are lowering the second degree and sixth degree of the major scale. And I don't know, Michi, how easy it will be to play along with me, because this harmonium is about 15 cents higher. But what can I do? All right. So I will go over each line. We are in rhythmical cycle of 12. 12 beats, so-called ektal. Here's the first line. Here we go. Sa sa ga ga ma ma ni da pa pa pa. Sa sa ga ga ma ni da pa pa pa. 1 1 3 3 4 4 7 5 6 7 6 5 5 again. 1 1 3 3 4 4 7 6 7 6 5 5 5. Sa sa ga ga ma ni da pa pa pa. Sa sa ga ga ma ni da pa pa pa. 1 1 3 3 4 4 7 6 7 6 5 5 5. The first line. Here's the second line. Starts on 3. Ga 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 ma pa ma ga ga sa sa. Ga 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 ma pa ma ga ga sa sa. Ga 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 ma pa ma ga ga sa sa. Ga 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 ma pa ma ga ga sa sa. 3 3 2 3 4 5 4 3 2 3 2 3 2 1 1 3 3 2 3 4 5 4 3 2 3 2 3 2 1 1 3 3 2 3 4 5 4 3 2 3 2 3 2 1 1. And by the way, one thing in that raga, of something that obviously I cannot do on this instrument, but both of you, Michi and Rose, can do it on your string instruments. Guy, so that you're spreading that augmented second between 3 and 2. That's basically, that's one of the features of that of Raag Bhairav. That's why it comes pretty early in the composition. Whenever you have any question, just let me know, okay? Third line begins on the 7th, lower 7th, right underneath the tonic. And by the way, that's the other feature. Ni da, ni da, ni da. So, basically the two features, ga sa, ni da, sa. just basically almost, no, I wouldn't say exploiting, but exploring both augmented seconds. So between 3 and 2 and between 7 and 6. And you girls have, you know, an opportunity to milk it totally on a string instrument. So that's part of the fun. So the third line. Ni da sa sa re sa 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 7 6 7 6 7 6 1 1 2 2 1 1 7 6 7 6 7 6 1 1 2 2 1 1 ni da sa sa re sa ni da sa sa re sa. Fourth line, starting back on the ga. Here we go. Ga ma pa ma ga ga sa. Ga ma pa ma ga ga sa. Ga ma pa ma ga ga sa. 3 4 5 4 3 4 5 4 3 2 3 2 1 3 4 5 4 3 4 5 4 3 2 3 2 1 3 4 5 4 3 4 5 4 3 2 3 2 1 ga ma pa ma ga ga sa ga ma pa ma ga ga sa ga ma pa ma ga ga sa. Whichever line is next, I've lost the count. 5. Okay, thank you. Fifth line starts on the ma, which is the 4th scale degree. And here we go. Ma 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 ni da da sa sa ni re sa. Sorry. Ma 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 ni da da sa sa ni re sa. Ma 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 ni da da sa sa ni re sa. Ma 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 ni da da sa sa ni re sa. 4 4 4 4 7 6 6 1 1 7 2 1 4 4 4 4 7 6 6 1 1 7 2 ma 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 ni da da sa sa ni re sa. Ma 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 ni da da sa sa ni re sa. So even before going to the second part of the composition, we already reached the higher sa, or the higher tonic, which is usually in most compositions the feature of the second part of the compositions. And oftentimes when that happens in the second part, you will notice people improvising in such a way that they will not touch the higher octave until so that the higher octave becomes kind of an event, that you really also, your improvisation is based within you know, a narrower range, so that later when you come to the new sa, it feels like, wow, you know, we are in a different world. So The sixth line of this composition starts on the high sa. Sa ni sa ni da pa ma pa da pa ma ga e sa ni sa ni da pa pa ma pa da ma ga e sa ni sa. Now, in that line, this is the last line of the first part. There's something that is called the amad. Amad is kind of like a catchy phrase that brings you back to the beginning of the composition. And we would usually finish the first part as well as finish the second part. And here that phrase is da pa ma ga e sa ni sa 6 5 4 5 6 5 4 3 2 1 7 1. So it's pretty much straight except for 6 5 4 5 6, right? 6 5 4 5 6, and then it's straight 5 4 3 2 1 7, back to 1. 6 5 4 5 6 5 4 3 2 1 7 1. So that unit will be bringing back the original sa sa ga ga ma ni da pa. 6 5 4 5 6 5 4 3 2 1 7 1, or da pa ma ga e sa ni sa. Da pa ma ga e sa ni sa, all in eighth notes. This line, except for the first three beats, is all eighth notes. Sa ni sa, and then ni da pa. Well, that's another quarter note. So the first six beats. Sa ni da pa. Sa ni da pa. Sa ni da pa. Da pa ma ga e sa ni sa. Sa ni da pa. Da pa ma ga e sa ni sa. Sa ni da pa. Da pa ma ga e sa ni sa. Sa ni da pa. Da pa ma ga e sa ni sa. Sa ni da pa. Da pa ma ga e sa ni sa. Now about the da pa ma pa part, the amad. This is something that you can use also to finish the composition. Remember, we talked a little bit about the tihai. The tihai directly translates into 1/3. Basically, it's a musical phrase that is repeated 3 times exactly, so that to tell the tabla player that basically we are reaching the end. Of course, there are smaller tihais that kind of function more like a cadence, but there's also a tihai at the end of the composition that tells him or her to stop accompanying on the tabla. So a very simple tihai can be just used by taking the amad, that part 3 times. So right now I'll play the 6th line, and then I will the first time around it is already in the line, last 6 beats of the line, and then I'll play it 2 more times, and this way I will land nicely on the beat, or on the first beat, which is kind of the way Indian classical composition should finish, right? And I know that for the dancers, because a lot of times Kathak dancers do their footwork, do their movement with the accompaniment of Indian classical music. So when they dance and then they miss finishing on the first beat, they have to repeat the whole sequence on stage. They have to go from the beginning if they missed their the finishing main beat. So let me sing the whole sixth line, and then sixth line again with the so-called T high. Here we go. Sa ni da pa, da pa ma ga e sa ni sa ni da pa, da pa ma ga e sa ni sa, da pa ma ga e sa ni sa, da pa ma ga e sa ni sa sa. And there I ended, right, on one. Let's just do it a few more times, okay? Sa ni da pa, da pa ma ga e sa ni sa. Sa ni da pa, da pa ma ga e sa ni sa. Again, da pa ma ga e sa ni sa. Da pa ma ga e sa ni sa. Shama Sundaram. This way you come back to the beginning of the composition, or you finish it, right? Sa ni da pa, da pa ma ga e sa ni sa. Again, sa ni da pa, da pa ma ga e sa ni sa. High, da pa ma ga e sa ni sa, da pa ma ga e sa ni sa sa. That one is very user-friendly because it takes 6 beats, right? Starts on the last unit of 6. 6 times 3, 18, and therefore it lends you one cycle later on 1. Just repeating dha pa ma ga e sa ni sa, dha pa ma ga e sa ni sa, dha pa ma ga e sa ni sa sa. There it is. Michi?
So I'm really grateful that we're coming back to this, and grateful that I had notes from before, because I find that this is going by very quickly and I'm able to kind of pick it up as we go. But if there are new parts, could we do the rhythm like more slowly?
Absolutely. Sorry, whoops. Sorry, I had to. Yes, just remind me which was the new parts.
Are there any more lines to the composition after?
Oh yes. So right now we just finished the first part of the composition, the so-called stai, which is the part that usually features the lower register, the low mid register. Now we are going to another 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 more lines of brand new. I don't think we did any of that. Now in those, the previous lines, I think the last one was the new one. Was there anything else? The 5th one was also new? Okay. So are we good on line number 6, or should we? We're good. Okay, perfect. So we are going to the second part of the composition, which not only touches the high tonic, but also goes beyond it, which is not too good for my voice because my voice doesn't really go much beyond that C, but I'm used to faking it. So let's see. So yeah, whenever we need to slow down any of the new lines, now it's good because we have some time left for the new lines. So in the next, the new line, the first line of the second part, starts with 2 half notes, eighth notes, and then everything else is quarters. So we have half, half, eighth, quarter, which translates into ma ni da sa ni re sa ma ni da sa ni re sa 4 4 7 6 1 1 7 2 1 1. Of course, you know that it's 9 and 8, but my brain only will work from 1 to 7. So, so we have 4 4 4 7 6 1 1 7 2 1 1. These are our next 12 beats. Starting on the 4. Ma 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 ni da da. Sorry, I was going from the previous one. Ma 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 ni da sa sa ni re sa sa. Ma 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 ni da sa sa ni re sa sa. Notice that the second part of the 12 beats, we are starting on sa, right? Ma 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 ni da sa sa ni re sa sa. Ma 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 ni da sa sa ni re sa sa. 4 4 4 7 6 1 1 7 2 1 1. 4 4 4 7 6 1 1 7 2 1. Ma 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 ni da sa sa ni re sa sa. Ma 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 ni da sa sa ni re sa sa. Ma 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 ni da sa sa ni re sa sa. 4 4 4 7 6 1 1 7 2 1 1. Are we good on this? Should I repeat anything? Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, so the next line again exploits that movement from ni to da, but it's pretty fast. So da da, but I'm moving grace note of ni. So 7 6 7 6. It's really 6 6, right? But with a grace note of 7. Da da sa sa sa. That's the first 1 2 3 4 5 beats. Da da sa sa sa. So really it is ni da sa sa sa. And then sa ni da ni sa re. So it's go from sa to da up to re. Sa ni da ni sa re. Sa ni da ni sa re. Repeating re. Re sa ni da pa. Re sa ni da pa. Re sa ni da pa. So from sa to da up to re, repeating re. Re sa ni da pa. So the fast part in eighth notes. Sa ni sa re. Re sa ni da pa. Sa ni sa re. Re sa ni da pa. You see, I'm struggling in the high register. Sa ni sa re. Re sa ni da pa. That's so the whole line. Da da sa 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 ni sa re. Re sa ni da pa. So again, those first das are always approached with a grace note of ni. Da da sa sa. Ready. Actually, let's try it without the beat for once. Ready, go. Da da sa 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 ni sa re. Re sa ni da pa. Once again, ready, go. Da da sa sa. Sorry, I'm eating. I'm missing one beat. There are 3 sas. Da da sa sa sa. That's 5 beats, right? No, da da sa sa. That doesn't make 5. All right, ready, play. Da da sa 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 ni da ni sa sa ni da pa. Da da sa 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 ni da sa ni da pa. That makes 12, right? That's why I like to do it with the rhythm, because rhythm will always tell me if when I'm wrong. And here we go. Da da sa 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 ni sa ni da pa. Da da sa 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 ni sa ni da pa. Da da sa 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 ni sa ni da pa. Da da sa 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 ni sa ni da pa. Da da sa 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 ni sa ni da pa. 6 6 1 1 1 1 7 6 7 1 2 1 2. Sorry. 6 1 1 1 1 7 6 7 1 2 2 1 7 6 7 6 5. Those numbers are really difficult. It's much easier in Sargam to me, honestly. All right. Da da sa 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 ni da sa ni da pa. Da da sa 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 ni da sa ni da pa. Da da sa 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 ni sa ni da pa. 7 6 1 1 1 1 7 6 7 1 2 2 1 7 6 7 6 5. Is that line clear? Should I slow down a part? A question? Is that a question, Rose?
Just one more time, if you
No worries.
wouldn't
No worries.
mind. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let me do it. I'll do it a little slower without. Ready, go. Da da sa 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 ni sa ni da pa. Da da sa 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 ni da pa. Da da sa 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 ni da pa. And one last time for me in numbers, so that I can speak say my numbers correctly. Ready, go. 6 6 1 1 1 1 7 6 7 1 2 2 1 7 6 7 6 5 6 6 1 1 1 1 7 6 7 1 2 2 1 7 6 7 6 5. There we are. Yeah, that was a challenging one for me. The next starts on 6. 6 2. 6 2 2 2 1. So we have quarter notes and the rest, or a half note, which however you consider it. 6 2 2 2 1 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yeah, so that's 7. That's 7 beats, because it falls well into when we're talking about numbers. Ready, go. 6 2 2 2 1. Ready, go. 6 2 2 ready, go. 6, 2, 2, 2, 1, ready, go. 6, 2, 2, 2, 1. And then afterwards, after that last rest that I just clicked. Ni sa ni da pa, which is at this point very familiar. Ni sa ni da pa. 7 1 7 6 7 6 5. Ready, do it. 7 1 7 6 7 6 5. Ready, go. 7 1 7 6 7 6 5. Ready, go. 7 1 7 6 7 6 5. Ready, go. 7 1 7 6 7 6 5. Or in Sargam, ready, go. Ni sa ni da pa. Ready, go. Ni sa ni da pa. So here is the whole line, starting on 6. Ready, go. 6 2 2 2 1 7 1 7 6 7 6 5. Ready, go. 6 2 2 2 1 7 1 7 6 7 6 5. Seven six 5 6 2 2 2 1 7 1 7 6 7 6 5 6 2 2 2 1 7 1 7 6 7 6 5. Sa ni sa ni da pa. Sa By the way, Rose, I think you need to go if it's, I mean, if you know. Clear? Is that line okay? All right. Okay, so Rose, I will post everything. Thanks for being here. Good luck today. Good luck tomorrow with setting up with the gig.
Okay, I'll keep listening. I just have to pack up and run out of the house.
I understand. Run out of the house.
Thank you so much. This was so cool. I really like seeing you guys again.
Same here. Be well. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. So yeah, Mitch, I'm just after this we just have one more line, so we'll be good. We'll be good. This way we'll have all in one video, the whole composition. All right. And in the last line, you have basically the Ahmad, the last 6 beats, which is the same 6 beats that ended. The same 6 beats that ended the first part is ending this part, so that again you can always come back to the beginning of the composition. It can be spelled A-M-A-D, Ahmad. That's dhapa mapa dhapa maga esa nisa, and that basically means any catchy phrase that brings you back to the beginning. So before we only have quarter notes. Pa 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 ma ma ma. That's it. Three fives, 3 fours, and then da pa ma ga e sa ni sa. So that's the last line is actually one of the easiest from that perspective. So let's do it. Here we go. Pa 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 ma ma ma. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa. Pa 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 ma ma ma. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa. Pa 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 ma ma ma. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa. Pa 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 ma ma ma. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa. Pa 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 ma ma ma. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa. Pa 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 ma ma ma. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa. So let's try this T high as well, okay? Let's sing the full last line once, then second time around we'll sing it and then make a T high, right? Of da pa ma pa. And here we go. Pa 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 ma ma ma. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa. Pa 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 ma ma. T high. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa sa. There we are, right? Exactly. Let's do that once again, twice through the line. Here we go. Pa 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 ma ma ma. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa. Pa 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 ma ma ma. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa sa. One more time. Here we go. Pa 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 ma ma ma. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa. Pa 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 ma ma. T high. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa. Da pa ma pa da pa ma ga sa ni sa. Sha sa. Ga ga ma ma ni pa pa. So it's nicely rounding the whole composition, right? So that's what Ahmad does. And also, when people are improvising, and then catch the Ahmad to come back to the composition, that also it sounds really cool. So this one is kind of nicely put right in the middle of the beat. So it's very easy to catch. So would you like me to repeat any phrases, any lines, anything?
I just have one question.
Yeah.
Food being delivered.
And by the way, Michi, I have to like raise the volume a lot to hear you.
Okay, so
Okay.
just one question. In the eighth line, when we're doing all of the eighth notes, it's the one that starts with da, da,
Yeah,
sa, sa,
yeah.
sa. Yeah. The re, sa, ni, da, pa. Are we also, every time we have ni, da come up in this whole composition, do we always slide? Or is
Well,
it something that changes?
See, no, it's so the moment, the faster it moves, and this composition is really fast. There's no way, right? So it really depends, so in the parts of the that are referred to as tan, which is kind of a fast improvisation, then all these subtleties go, because you just simply don't have time for them, and also the ear doesn't really have the time to catch them. So, and since this is really a fast composition, I mean, we're talking about sa sa ga ga ma ma ni da ni da ba ba ba. That speed, probably about 200 per 200 beats per minute. So so it really also depends on the tempo of your performance. Oftentimes, for example, it's very common in India for people to play with a tabla player that they've never played before or never seen. So obviously, if I were to play with a tabla player that I've never played with, I would not start at 200. Right? I would start it probably gingerly at 120, and then in 120 you can do all this, right? Also, it makes sense to start slower so that later in the performance you can also bring the tempo up. The moment you start at 200, you don't have really much room for that sort of treatment. But yeah, the general answer is, first of all, not every time, because if every time that happens, then it will become super predictable, right? So you want to keep the balance between the stylistic content, which this is expected, right? And this shows the quality of the rag, but also sometimes not do it so that you avoid the predictability of it, and especially in fast passages, not really, because the defining factors is as I mentioned, so both, but that milking usually happens in the alap part, so in the slow, unmeasured, non-rhythmical part. That's when, and if you go to the video that Kala has on IndianClassicalMusic.com on Bhairav, then she actually shows different lengths of and shows you what is a good speed and what is not a good speed, when it is too slow, right? Because the moment you are going to start hearing other microtones coming out, then it's too slow. Then it's destroying the raga. So there's a very fine balance between what's too much. It's kind of like a spice, right? You want that spice to help but not overpower the food. So yeah, that's that. So on that line, that was line, I believe, 8, right? Yes. If you can also just simply play a quick grace note, right? Which you don't have time for that, right? But probably that part will not be really, will not slide that much. I mean, can be emphasized, but right. I mean, we have many other ways of doing it, by dynamics, by articulation. So that's so. And any other questions? It makes total sense.
Well, 1,000 questions of improvisation, but I'll play with that later.
So first of all, so they tell you to really that you learn the raga by basically learning as many compositions in the given raga as possible, so that this way you really learn how it moves, and which notes are emphasized and which notes are which notes are of secondary importance, which notes are of primary importance. You learn from learning the so-called bandish, which is the vocal composition. Of course, here, the part that we totally skipped are the words, right? Which bring a totally different layer as well. And I find it is easier later. It is easier for me to remember the music when I know the words. Just because then I can. Oftentimes, then I play just looking at the words, not looking at the music. And also that helps, especially with improvisation, because first step of improvisation is improvising on the words, as if just changing their inflections a little bit, stretching them, and that's how the improvisation begins. And I'm not only talking about vocalists, but I'm also talking about the instrumentalists who will know the words and will kind of create short phrases that in a way play a little bit with words. that. But the other thing, remember at some point at one of the sessions we touched upon it on playing the mukra, which is the face of the composition. In our case, sa sa ga ga ma would be probably enough, and then leaving out ma ni da pa pa pa, and just having those 6 beats to do something in, right? And then again coming back to the line, to the mukra. So this way you, in a way, you improvise in a short span of 6 beats, but then bring in the composition. So that's how usually the improvisation begins. Kind of you slowly depart from the composition by taking a unit that makes sense also as words. So in this case, Shama Sundara, beautiful Shyam, which Shyam is a name for Lord Krishna. So if I know these words, I know that I can break after sa sa ga ga ma, because that's where the word finishes. So for somebody in India, if you were to play sa sa ga ga and then start improvising, that would be weird. Even if you are not singing, they know the words behind it, and it would, because you broke the word, even though it's not sung, that would be awkward. So, but that layer we just don't even go to in these sessions. So in that initial, when I initially shared with you guys the notation, there are words underneath the notation. All right.
Thank you so much. This is beautiful, and I need to run.
Of course. Sorry for keeping you. Thanks for being here, Michi. And I will post it so that you can always come back to it. Be well, stay warm, and stay inspired. Take care. Thanks for being here.